Hello people of the internet, it's your boy Skinny Penis with the Grand Tour de France as the last ships to cover for the series. Save the best for last, they said, so we're doing this one. Playing the Clebalda and Marceau in a, let's say, special edition long... Wait a minute, what a second. Minimap looked a bit weird. Anyways, playing the two supposedly most fun ships at the end. Questionable though how fun, for example, Kleber still is in randoms, given the fact that there's now a bunch of submarines and fucking especially carriers and hybrids. Like that carriers and hybrids are just a pain in the ass to deal with at the moment. Like we can be lucky that there are none of those at the moment, but yeah. It could go horribly wrong if you get too many carriers in the enemy team. Because Louisiana, especially, just free fucks you in a Kleber. Especially if you're like currently kite fighting someone and he comes in with the bombs, he can drop from behind. But in general, we will have lots of time to talk about Kleber and how to play it, how to spec it, I guess. I'm gonna play like a bit more than 2 games, most likely. I'm gonna make it a pretty long video. I like those ships in general, like both of those ships are probably the most engaging ones, or were the most engaging ones in randoms. Obviously I played them a wee bit too much on both accounts, in the sense that I don't really start World of Warships anymore to specifically play those two ships. Um, but yeah, lots of opportunities, lots of fast-paced action, and if played correctly, really strong ships. If played incorrectly, horribly trash. I mean, theoretically you can work your way around potential, let's say, more difficult specs on Kleber. You can kind of like fake spec the Kleb into some demented AFT farmer, which is obviously super easy and anyone can do it. But we can go into the spec afterwards. I'm going to the island here since the Harugumo is taking the flank. Gun angles on Kleber are disgustingly good, so I can reverse here and maybe the Harugumo runs into a DD. Or I catch someone out here, like I'm using the island to negate the shitty concealment I have. Gonna reverse in a bit. And I mean Sherman and Marceau are still missing. Maybe one of them is here. Yeah, well the Sherman seems to be here. No wait. Marceau? Good question, who the fuck is actually like spotting me? Oh yeah, there he is. Now we can reload boost, that's obviously the strength of the Klebalde. At these ranges I definitely take a trade with the Marceau since I'm like pretty far away from him, which means I can... And I'm also like obviously kited on the island, which means I can just go behind cover if I need to against the Henry. I fucked the reload boost a bit in terms of aiming, but in general like... Oh, the guy is a bit fucky. Ah, the Harugumo smoked up for some reason. Okay, it's a bit sad really. Could have killed him here, but should be fine anyways. The Marceau is not a threat anymore. It's like the thing you want to have, the reload boosters on a Klebalde when people are essentially like when you're running into a destroyer. That's like the idea. Kleber reload boost gives you for at least 15 seconds, I think the highest DPM on destroyers. If you factor in the reload boost, because it doubles your DPM, as you can see, minus 50. So for short duration, you have the highest DPM with great arcs and strong alpha, which allows you to outtrade every single DD as long as you have the reload boost up. Obviously, is he smoking? Yeah, he's smoking. Obviously, if your reload boost is down, you're suffering a bit in terms of DPM, which means certain destroyers can easily outgun you. Actually gotta care for that. And also, you obviously know that the Torpedoes are a bit hard to make use of. Actually here I can, for example, pop a reload boost for fires. That's very, very nice and easy situation here. You pop the reload boost in 1v1 DD fights. You pop the reload boost to set permafires. Hopefully permafires. Well, we didn't set a permafire at all because apparently RNGesus hates us today a wee bit hard. I'm feeling that the fucking Alan will come back at some point. I'm gonna push up the flank with the Harugumo into the two battleships and hopefully try to get the cap. Actually, I mean, I could cross the... Wait, I'm stupid. The fucking Hala was spotted over there. I can go into the cap with the Harugumo. I mean, the Marceau can't engage us anymore. He's absolutely dead. Like, I did, like, what, 16, 17k to him? Not 18. I got one shot on the Henry, but I don't know how much damage I did there. But yeah, the Marceau is extremely low. The only thing he can do is, like, AFK Torpas. And how the fuck did the Vincent die on the other side? Ah, yeah, the submarine, huh? Funny. Actually, Kleber and Marceau are also pretty good against submarines, because you can easily choose to not engage them at all and run away fast, obviously. That's like a good option you have on these two destroyers. But also the depth charges are actually pretty strong, because you get a lot of charges. As you can see, 18 with 3.8 damage. So you get a lot of charges and you're very fast, which, like, you're essentially one of the only ships that can effectively hunt submarines if there is ensured spotting, because you're like way faster than them. Other destroyers like Daring, while their depth charges are better and they have hydro, how do you effectively hunt a sub when the sub is faster than you? Like a bit of a wonky-ish. I hope he doesn't hit me. Nah, should be fine. Yeah, perfect. I don't have a speed boost, that's why I don't want to go out of the island at the moment and hunt. Because there is a Moscow and a Henry on my broadside. I seem to be very unlucky with the fires at the moment, which is kind of sad, to be honest. Especially since there's no fire prevention, now I saw it. Which is, by the way, a good... Oh, I have Obo Monieu, actually, I didn't remember even. I will go reverse, go dark when he's outside of range, go forward and then hunt him. I don't want to pop out spotted from the island. 5,000, okay, that's a bit sus. Actually, if he leaves range and doesn't spot me, I can just go here and shoot the Moskva when he's turning. And kite him around the island, essentially. Like reverse behind the island back. We have to kill the Moskva. Because of his arcs and radar, he can definitely cuck me from hunting the two battleships. So killing him real fast is very important. I mean, for some reason he doesn't die in the gamer turn, which is kind of weird. Ask me. Okay, time to go out and hunt. The Marceau is next to the Malta. Okay, okay. I think I'll keep shooting and trading more HP here if needed, but this guy needs to die. ASAP. Slow down. Gotta obviously learn how to effectively dodge these people with a Klebalde. Okay, we got the kill here. Henry's shooting me, but for 2.5 minutes I'm essentially like very free to do whatever I want, given the fact I have a speed boost. I'm gonna accelerate straight line. I'm gonna waiting until the... Okay. Don't tell me his dispersion is so good that he... was okay-ish. Not the worst thing that ever happened to me. 13,000 HP. We're slowly but surely reaching a state where I can't randomly run at the carrier anymore. I mean, those torpedoes will never ever hit me. Okay, this guy DCP'd now. I have a reload boost ready, which will just mean I'm gonna slow down to maybe dodge him. Yep, dodged him. I'm gonna pop a speed boost to maybe... Oh my god. I ate torps because he's dropped. Well, that's so fucked. I can't get a fucking fire for Jesus Christ's sake, and this. Oh, that's fucked. Okay. Tried to turn in here. Got only one hit. The bombers have enough damage to kill me here, which is a bit of a problem. He only needs to hit a few bombs to kill me, really. Okay, he missed completely. What I can do now is kind of park here and shoot the carrier while I keep the island in between me and the Henry, which is kind of okay-ish for me. If I wouldn't have eaten those two torps, everything would be super fine, but yeah, I mean, eating those two torps kind of cucks me here. I won't even get to use my last reload boost, sadly. Real bummer. We touched him though. I actually get to use my last reload boost, that's pretty cool. I get citadels here, that's pretty nice too. Can fucking reload boost him to death, I think. Yep. Reload boosted him real quick. Now I have the issue that the Henry is obviously running at me like a cuck. I gotta be a bit smart about how I engage this one. Torpedoes are out. I will... I don't know what the fuck this carrier is doing, but hey. Yikes, man. Yeah, he dodges those, obviously. He will run at my Henry, so what I will do is try to get a torpedo angle with the other side. Good that he didn't start... didn't start the rockets, because with the rockets he could have easily killed me. I guess we can use the island again to kite him out. Behind the island. Like, look, if theoretically this is a good example as to how this maneuverability of the ship is actually disgusting if you know what you're doing. I mean, we're really lucky that the carrier didn't start fighters, as said, or another bombs, no, not fighters, rockets, or another bomb squad. I mean, yeah, that's just very, very fortunate. But, I mean, why the fuck did I eat two torps in the first place from the carrier? Like, I was never in danger of dying there, but hey, I mean, it worked out in the end. You could see here that the Kleber, obviously, you only get good HE DPM in the right situations. When you fight a destroyer like the Marceau, or supposedly when someone DCP'd, you can set fires more easily, given the fact you have the reload boost. The Marceau in my range? No. Yeah, so it's like, it's only like good HE/DPM if you get the right situations. Otherwise, your HE/DPM is kind of mediocre. It's easier to use though than on other destroyers because your arcs are better, obviously, since your gun caliber is better. But what really makes what really makes the Klebald stand out is... Oh, do I kill him? Yeah, trade him. Very nice. I thought was like wondering why, like, if he's behind an island, but whatever. I traded him out in the end, so that's an additional kill. So it was a fine game. The AP is kind of like pretty nice. Like, Kleber was the first an OG destroyer that got like really strong AP. I mean, the Russians already had good AP in terms of penetration, but Kleber was like the first DD that got such good AP, not like the French DD line, that you can citadel light cruisers at fairly fairly long ranges, like Minotaur at 10 km. You can Citadel that. You can also Citadel stuff like a Des Moines or a Moskva pretty fucking close. Like Moscow at 5-6 km already, and carriers obviously. So that's like kinda where you can use the reload booster too, because you're an actual menace against light cruisers if you get to the broadside. Pretty good game here. Pretty good start, I'd say. I mean, we kind of saved it there, given the fact I ate 2 torpedoes, but still managed to get some kills and damage out of it. So that's pretty nice. In terms of the captain spec, this is like, in my opinion, the most fun and also most viable build. Like, I guess AFT, I mean, just makes you a demented farmer. But the question is always like, why do you play Kleber? I mean, is it really worth it to go like AFT Phyllis Brawl farming and just for leaderboard crap, like average damage crap? I mean, personally, I kind of seek this closer range gameplay with the torpedoes and the reload boosters on Kleber. That's kind of like also what I played it like when it was released for 100 games or more, also ranked a lot. This kind of ambush style gameplay is what the ship is designed for and what makes it so fun. If I want to farm with AFT, I'll go for like a Zorki at this point. Like it's just like the most brain damaged range farmer with AFT, because you have a heal, you have 60mm plating, it's just better. And it's also more effective because it has more base DPM. But this spec here essentially allows you to have the most, or like a very, very high amount of DPM, which also works well since, together with the reload booster, since if you actually ambush people, you want them, especially destroyers, you want them to die as fast as possible. So you want to pop a reload booster and essentially one-shot them. You don't have a heal, neither do you have a smoke, so your chances of disengaging in most situations are pretty shit. It's essentially always like a trade, so you want to have the trade, or you want to do the trade as fast as possible. Interesting to notice is you kind of have to play that. I mean, surely you can drop these two and go for AFT and you play like some demented 16 km perma farm shit. Personally, I think it's a wee bit cringe, because like 16 km do be a very, very, very long distance for a destroyer to farm. At this point, why don't you just play Nevsky? I mean, the DPM is actually kind of comparable between Nevsky and Kleber. If you factor in the reload boosts on Kleber, it's like, it's not that far apart. Yeah, this one is kind of needed. Like, even if I would run AFT, I'd probably drop Fearless Brawl. I'm not sure. I mean, nah. If you run AFT, you drop like these two. You go AFT and you just stay at range and you farm your average. You farm your Witherers and Arsonists. Yeah. But as I said, like, I personally run it as an ambush DD. That's what I like. Superintendent is completely useless on the French DDs. You just buy yourself a speed boost module and you get 12 minutes of active speed boost nearly. And with the cooldowns, I mean, it's only in the last like 3 minutes of the game, 4 minutes of the game, you maybe run out of speed boosts. But by that time, most French DDs don't really have enough HP anyways to do a lot, because you should have tried to find impact before that. I mean, that's the strength of the DDs, the French DDs, so fast, ambush heavy, meaning you can easily punish mistakes in the beginning of the match. Yeah, that thing is important because of the close range fighting. Like Kleber is a very old destroyer, so it doesn't get like demented turret traverse. So you kind of have to run turret traverse for close range fights, and I would definitely spec it through the captain with a 1-point skill instead of running this. It's the same buff. The problem is you kind of need aiming systems modification 1 for the 7% dispersion, which is very important given the fact that you want your reload boost Alpha Strike HE to hit as hard and as consistent as possible, as said, because you're not going to disengage from some fights, which means you just have to kill the enemy DD. Otherwise, obviously, speed boost mod is mandatory, and what's interestingly enough also mandatory in my opinion is speed flag. Like the French DDs, I mean, the speed boost gets you above 50 knots, which means a 5% increase from a flag is 2.5 knots, and 2.5 knots is a big difference. Like, you actually notice on French DDs as like the most obvious ship if you run or don't run a speed flag. At some point, that's the thing with why the French DDs are considered so cancerous, especially if you spec it like AFT and you dodge at range. The speed boost makes you, and prop mod obviously, I mean you always run prop mod, but here especially, like if you run rudder, you're unironically fucking griefing and you're completely and utterly fucking and destroying the entire purpose of the ship. The back and forth dodging as a gunboat. Even at medium ranges against cruisers or DDs, you can throw off many shells very easily. And if you run rudder, you're just griefing yourself. That's the most spastic thing ever you could do, for sure. Yeah. Double concealment, obviously. Personally, I mean, if you run AFT, you can maybe drop concealment on the captain and go for more. Yeah, true. Like you could run, you could drop these two for this. No, wait, you could drop concealment for AFT essentially. Yeah, that's like a way to go. My question is always like, why? Why do you try to create a second Zorky essentially? Like that just dodges better and doesn't have a heal, while Zorky has like a heal and plating. It doesn't dodge that easily because it's not as fast. Like, questionable. Anyways, we can go into the next game. We can talk a bit about it. People are coping a lot about the rush capabilities. I mean, yeah, sure. That's like in randoms specifically, or like against very shitty coordination or bad players in general, the rushing is toxic because there needs to be some sort of team cohesion or like team play to stop a Kleber from rushing for free. And even then, it's like kinda hard to stop the Kleber from 1-for-1 running. But I don't get the coping really about it at this stage. Like, no idea. Like, a Kleber therefore means, okay, there's a Kleber, he could fucking rush me like an idiot, I can't go to the rock. But what's the problem in randoms about that? I mean, there's like a carrier each game. Now there are like 2 hybrids sometimes each game with a carrier, and then there's submarines. So when the fuck do you go to the rock anyways? Like, a Kleber is way more predictable and easier to fight than these 2 classes. I mean, sure, in terms of surface ships, it's a cancerous fucking ship, because you can rush someone if he's not protected or he fucked it up and went too deep on a rock. It has the ability, by the way, therefore, because of this ambush thing against destroyers and the rush capabilities against battleships or cruisers. You obviously have the ability to swing or impact the game immediately and very fast from 1 second to the other. You can remove a very, very important or key ship in the enemy team. Yeah, so but yeah, I personally, I mean, I don't care randoms anymore about Kleber rushes. Like, that's literally the least of my problems when I play randoms. I mean, we're really lucky here with the matchmaking. No carrier, no submarine. The carriers would be the worst, to be honest, in Kleber. You don't have AA. You have shitty air conceal, 4.4. Like, carriers can just light you permanently. We're going at an angle into the flank because they have a Kleber too. So if he's here, I want to trade him immediately. I mean, he might run into the cap, we don't know. Yeah, if he's not here, I will just turn out and farm, which I will do now. I mean, it's in Hull, North Carolina, it's not like really the best farming, but hey. Oh, wait, it's a no fire prevention, Hull, North Carolina. Okay, we have a Trump here. Interesting. Interesting. Really interesting. He actually hit me because he can't aim his fucking drop. Or whatever. I real boosted for nothing. It's unfortunate, really. Got a permafire on him. Doesn't really matter. I real boost a bit on the Cleveland. Cleveland at 11 km, he's not gonna hit me. So we know the Trump is here. We know the Trump is towards the cap because that's where the airstrikes came from. I'm still gonna stay a bit on the flank. Spot these people here. Farm them. My entire team is behind me, so obviously I hope that they would fucking remove this Cleveland once and for all, but apparently he can go flat broadside to my entire team and do that with impunity. You can see on the minimap he is fucking fairly flat to my entire team and they're not like removing him. Which is a bit of an issue, because even though he has shit aim, at some point he's like just gonna be too close for me to dodge everything. ADCP'd. He's probably gonna gamer turn out now. Maybe not. I mean, I have no clue why we don't pick up free clevelands.com. Hello team, you like wanna fucking shoot the nearly stationary flap broadside Cleveland, or guy doesn't know where to aim at all, really. Interesting. The Trump is choosing to AFK, by the way, too, and not go towards cap, even though we don't have a radar and he's very, very well concealed, DD. I only have 1 more minute to really fuck with this Cleveland. After that it's going to be hard for me to... even harder for me to dodge people. This... Yeah, he's gonna start hitting me now. Trump really is just... Okay, the Trump is unironically just trying to turbo fuck me here, or what? And now it finally gets hits. I'm gonna run away with the last 40 seconds of the speed boost. It's a bit annoying that the Cleveland really doesn't get shot by anything, not even my fucking Venezia. I would really like to blacklist a whole lot of fucking brain dead people. Being absolute fucking moronic apes. Oh, now that he's like 1 HP, we shoot him. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, how nice of you. Thank you. Man, I appreciate the effort, my friends. Wow, that is really cool. So apparently when we can get the kill, we actually shoot him. I like it. It's very nice. Big fan of that one. Fucking retards. Yeah, well. Supposedly my team was behind me. Supposedly. I think the NCDCP... Oh shit, the Trump is actually in my mouth. Interesting. I can run at him maybe. He's like super slow and immaneuverable. I have a Ven behind me. So... well, I mean the Yoshino's coming in. I can't really hunt him. I can torp a bit into his direction. I should have done that earlier. I was a wee bit confused about, or a wee bit focused on the Cleveland. Because, I mean, obviously he was in my mouth and shooting me, so I didn't really care. But the Trump was super close. Could have just started to torp him. Bit hard to dodge here, by the way, without the speed boost. So I gotta be wee bit careful. And we continue the trend of not getting fires with our reload boosters, even though people TCP'd, which is kinda interesting and sad at the same time. I haven't gotten a single fire and a reload boost. Oh, wait, finally we got one. I haven't really gotten a single fire and a reload boost yet. In the last game in this one. It's kinda sad. But I get my speed boost back up. I said, like, you saw the Trump was dropping from like Narnia, and he's also the kind of guy who only torps and drops, which means he's never gonna like gun engage me. So I didn't have to keep my reload boost here for that. But you don't really have to run for the captain. Like, it's Kleber is like the ultimate DD where you want to catch someone in a flank first and kill the flank first and then go for the cap, because you're generally awful at cap contesting. This cap would have allowed some sort of gameplay in the cap because it offers the island in the middle of it, which means I can kind of negate my concealment disadvantage. But if you have an open cap with a Kleber, you won't win contesting fights against concealed destroyers like Shimmers, Darings, Gearings, even like Shermans and what's it? Sherman and Smalans and stuff are a big time problem. It's kind of like they don't want to engage you, but you don't want to engage them either, because you don't have a heal, and they don't want to lose like more than 50% of their HP and one demented reload boost. It's kind of like the logic. I'm gonna go here and already going nose in towards middle because this guy is gonna die very fast. For some reason our Guden thinks he needs to desperately kill himself to get the people killed here faster, but Oopsie Mike is apparently completely obnoxious to the fact that the Guden is like nose in, flap broadside in his mouth. I think it's kind of weird what is currently happening. I'm very confused. I only have two reload boosters left, so the question is, do I really want to pop one for this guy? First of all, my fire chance this game, apart from the fires on the Cleveland, which I got a lot on, is absolutely tragic. Like, as you can see here, reload boost on Yoshino only landed me one fire. Here I'm not getting fires. Now I'm finally getting one. Kinda like weird. Actually reload boost this to get him out faster. Maybe also get a kill. Okay, that was pointless. I essentially just reload boost for a potential kill here. If I don't kill him, yeah, okay, well at least I kill him. Maybe a bit of a waste. But last reload boost I cannot really use on anyone unless the Kleber is dead. Or I know, or I spot him now and I see that he's like 2-3,000 HP. Because that Kleber trade is going to be very important for us. I need the reload booster for that one. So, gotta stay tuned. Yeah. Also, if you don't play AFT, you generally tend to play more objective or closer. If you have 16 point something km range, obviously it leads you to just AFK like a cuck. Interesting. Guy's just reversing behind an island, which makes it very easy for us to hit him, by the way. If the aim wouldn't be bugged like crazy. Getting some free damage shots in here, which is obviously important. There's like a certain amount of HP you have to take off Klebers or Marceaus in general, by the way, before you can ignore them, kind of. Like, you want them to be below like 7-6k at best, but like below 10k is already fine, so they can't rush anymore. That's like really important against those ships, because obviously if they can rush, they can fuck you up big time. We're actually reload boosting this now that the club is dead. Showing off the AP DPM a bit with reload boost, fearless brawl, everything active, as you can see here. Kinda smashing a bit through his broadside with 3k salvos on average. Pretty nice for this, to be honest. I don't get the kill. Oh, I get the kill actually. Okay. I have a reload boost in 40 seconds, and since the game is so far gone into the mid game, and I still have 17,000 HP because the enemy didn't really hit me and I dodged a whole lot, I can now start with 17,300. I can now start to begin to think about rushing people. That's something you can do late game with Kleber pretty easily, and it's very effective. Getting a whole bunch of additional damage by essentially monk rushing people to shit. Very cool, kind of, you know? I like it a lot. I can citadel him, maybe? Yeah, I can citadel him here. Kinda nice. Was that just a fluke shot, or what was that? And now he angled a bit more. Ah, okay. Why is my dispersion so trash on him? Weird. Okay, he's dead. I wonder where the Edinburgh is. Edinburgh. Questionable. As I said, like, I like this close-up fighting. You're essentially like, no one wants to play close to you in these kind of island areas. Everyone knows you're like some sort of monk rush maniac. Oh wait, that guy is fucking close with the Hydro and the GK. Oh, no, it's not the GK. What the fuck? Nah, okay. Well, that was a bit too greedy. I didn't expect the... I thought the GK would have turned in, and that's what hydroed me, but... It was the Edinburgh, and he also pre-torped someone. I don't know if it was me or not. I should have focused on dodging the torpedo, maybe. I thought I would kill the guy with AP. That was a pretty good situation. I could have, like, just killed him with AP, and then afterwards torped the GK, and it could have gotten me above 200k. But in the end, I mean, I didn't get a torpedo hit now. I mean... in these kind of situations against light cruisers, it's always weird, like what you should do, because your torpedoes at that range are disgusting. So maybe I should have just torped, but I thought I could kill him with AP and ignored the torps completely. Thought I could torp the GK afterwards, right before I die. But yeah, normally if you're close to like some sort of Minotaur or Neptune or Edinburgh or whatever the fuck, below like, what is it, like 6-7 km, you can 100% smash them with AP, so if you have a reload boost, it's just better to just kill them inside of like, what, 6-7 seconds with like 3 AP salvos. It's pretty simple. You can smash for 20k. I mean, we're gonna win anyways. There is no chance they win this one. Yeah, like, in general, you have to adapt a bit to the enemy destroyers. And depending on how and when you get spotted on the flank, you also have to immediately change how you play. Like, for example, assuming they had some shit like a gunboat with a smoke, essentially, like a Daring or a Sherman, and I approach the 1-line, 2-line, and I get spotted, and I'm not counter-spotting the DD immediately, I have to immediately turn kite and run. And I also have to be cautious about if or when I engage the enemy DD. Because if I engage with 13.6 km range against the Sherman here and someone else spots me and the Sherman just smokes up, I'm not gonna burn through 28k HP of a Sherman. That's like, I played Sherman for the video. I said like the smoke, the Hydra and the HP pool with the DPM is just brain damage. The ship is essentially like a retard cruiser without a citadel. So yeah, if he can smoke up in front of me, even if I take 15k out immediately of him, he's still alive inside that smoke. I won't blind fire reliably for 10k, which means he's gonna sit there, I'm going to be spotted, and he's gonna trade HP. So that's why you have to turn into kite and run away immediately. If there's something like a Gearing or a Shimmer, you can still stay around, because these people will just torp you. They can't gun engage you, like a Shimmer gun engaging you at below 7 km or something. It's just brain damage, like he's killing himself on purpose, like you want these people to do that kind of. Against the Trump here, I mean, you saw he's more interested in dropping, so you can kind of ignore him. But the more important thing is that you go into the flank anyways in the beginning. Like I did, like you go into the flank, go at an angle, you turn out. At some point, like when you're super deep between F and E line, because they have a Kleber. That's like the main thing. You want to check or potentially be ready for an early French DD trade in the flank, and you want to make sure you come out ahead of it. Given the fact you run a Kleber yourself, like me now, gives you the opportunity of out-trading enemy French DDs easier. Like, for example, Marceau's couldn't really engage me in these kind of flank fights. Klebers, it's all about like aim and dodging and how you take the engagement and how ready you are for it. I mean, the first few seconds already change a lot. Like if you have guns pre-turned and you also have, as I said, that's very important, the turret traverse, you can keep your guns on target. Like if you don't play turret traverse and you full turn out with a Kleber, you're going to lose the ability to shoot the enemy destroyer the closer you are. I think like below 5 or 6 km if you're not turret traverse spec'd and you full turn, because obviously most of the situations you have to full turn, there's like ships behind them, you want to go into a kited position as fast as possible, also because the gun angles of Kleber and kite, or even at going in, the gun angles in general are so strong that you want to be either nose in, wiggling, or no, ass in, kited and wiggling. So like, what was I fucking stupid? Yeah, if you don't have the turret traverse on the captain and you run into a DD at like 6 km and you have to full turn, you most likely won't be able to shoot him, so you have to stop turning, which opens you up for more salvos on you. It's kinda the only destroyer where you have to remind that. Like an Elbing also has shit turret traverse, but in an Elbing you don't have these fast, in-your-face kind of DD traits in the beginning of the match. Yeah, so you don't really care. If your turrets turn like shit on an Elbing, you have 15-16 km range, you play it as an AFT, AP focused cruiser with ridiculous concealment, totally different playstyle, so you're not necessarily in need of turret traverse there. Kleber, yes. Marceau, obviously not. Marceau turrets turn very fast, but we're going to play Marceau soon. So what are we doing here? Matchmaking is actually pretty great. apart from the fucking super carrier, that obviously sucks like crazy. You really hate carriers in Kleber, I'll tell you what. There's like nothing you hate more, especially when they have fucking bombers and rockets and shit. Guy might just hump me for the next 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, if the carrier starts like giga focusing you, you have to play like very passive. Like, you can't do a lot. You can press O on him if he has full squadrons. You do a bit of damage, you know. This guy with an HE Hanover, I don't fucking know. I mean, Kleber also isn't that desperately in need of AFT, given the fact you have 13.6 base range. That's like AFT range on most other destroyers, which means you can actually fight secondary spec idiots fairly safe still. I mean, surely the AFT spec on the Kleber allows you to play budget Nevsky, kind of, without a radar and no citadel. Oh, yeah. Zorki's on the other side. Okay, like that was something I missed. Like, on the DD's front, it's like the Zorki is the most important one I want to dodge, so the moment he's spotted, I'm actually very happy. He's on the other side of the map. The Russian destroyers are generally designed to counter you, kind of. You can imagine they have a heal. Or a smoke. It doesn't actually matter what they play. Like, even smoke is pretty bad against you, because they can just go dark. But heal is obviously worse. Since they have way more sustain and your HE doesn't penetrate them everywhere. So the trades are going horribly in the favor of the Khabarovsk or Zorki, and also their base DPM is better, so you only have the one reload boost where you don't pan half your shells with the 60mm plating. And yeah. I'm waiting here, by the way, like my team is playing like giga passive crap. It's a Yamagiri here, huh? Yeah, it's a Yamagiri. We got C for free, the enemy team is running on there, I have 3 battleships coming in, enemies making a giga campfire behind the mid-island. Hope they're like cooking their marshmallows nice and easily. There's a Yamagiri here. By the way, quick notice, like Kleber has the highest torp DPM on tier 10 DDs, then it's Elbing. Problem with that is Kleber torps are a rushing tool, or a delay tool. Like you can in some situations kite out people with Klep torps. You can play pretty close to enemies if they don't have DDs in front of them or radars. You can play fairly close to them when they're pushing hard, and you can like torp them out. It's not. Yeah, the fucking C server enjoyer, cucklord. Yeah, that was dumb. Was going stationary for no reason. Lost all my HP here. Pretty stupid. Only 1 minute of speed boost left. That sucks. Okay, this guy DCP'd, so we're obviously staying for a reload boost on this. It's a USN battleship DCP though, so we're taking our time here to pop the reload booster. That's something you gotta really keep in mind, how long the DCPs are on the... Okay, yeah. I have to eat some Hanover shells if I'm unlucky here, because the Monte Salvo is more important to dodge, yeah. My guy in his Hanover is just the biggest gamer. He misaimed like crazy, but I had to keep reversing because of the Monty shells going all in front of me. Oh, is this the holy fucking... The fuck, dude? Lost like 1,000,000 HP already for nothing. Now I also reversed into the Monty shells because the Hanover can't aim again, man. Okay, like we have a fucking situation on our hands here. That's for sure, man. That's for fucking sure, bro. Fucking trash bots and their dog shit aim. Fucking crazy, man. Losing my mind here against these bots. This motherfucker is aiming 10 million miles in front or behind me, while the other guy does the exact opposite. Oh, like, by accident, they're just trash. I have fucking I'm down to 10k. So essentially I can open water farm battleships now. By the way, I'm just staying in this corner here so they don't push through here. Essentially, like, look, they're all kiting away. And we won this side, they're camping in their little campfire in the middle, as said. And yeah, maybe the Yamagiri is still here. Wouldn't say so though. Would be cool if our fucking carrier would finally spot it. Jesus Christ, I'm playing against two HE spam battleships. It's hilarious, and they're like they're aiming like absolute turbo turds. It's actually better, like, it's hard to dodge super unicoms because they actually have aim and know how to shoot French destroyers because they know the technology of ripple firing. Um, oh my fucking lord, dude, I can't believe it. A 1-for-1 Yamagiri gamer. How cool is this? That would be really cool if you wouldn't have done that. But yeah, this is where our journey ends, my friends. This is where our journey ends. Sedge, I traded too much HP on the two battleships beforehand. This is definitely like a 200k easy game. I can farm the battleships for free here the entire time if I play it correctly. Sadly, my stupid C server spastic fuck from whatever the fuck where he is ever didn't spot the Yamagiri once. Neither is the Yamagiri apparently aware that I have a reload booster, and the only thing he does there is 1-for-1 trade like a fucking spaz, which is very nice if people do like play like that. It's really cool, really cool. Like just running into the mouth of a Kleber that has a reload boost ready is definitely the way to go to get yourself fucking killed, but I guess he's happy about that, because hey, 1-for-1 gaming, man. Like, trash players think like that. So yeah, I didn't really expect him to play like this, because it's a torpedo boat. Like, why would he fucking kill himself there for nothing? Like, it's like, I'm a 9k HP Kleber, I need 10 years to kill these battleships anyways. I mean, I don't know if that is really worth it. And if he goes on about it in a smarter way, I probably survive too, because I can just like go dark. But no, he just runs into me at 5 km. Sure as shit. But yeah, I mean, it's on me really. Like, as you could see, I nearly killed him without dying. If I would have not eaten that much damage from the like the Slava salvo was obviously a real big issue. Me just AFKing, not really realizing he's aiming at me at 15 km. And also the two battleships with their stupid HE shots, like one aiming completely in the front, one aiming completely back. That is, by the way, not intentional from them. I would like that to point out. Like, if you actually think or cope about the fact that that could be intentional, that is not intentional. Those people are just randomly aiming somewhere, and it's problematic for me. But yeah, in any case, I can stop coping now about it. This game in the Kleber was obviously rather tragic. I'm not gonna lie about this one. I mean, maybe they win it, maybe they don't, but this should have been easy 200k or more for me. Even if I don't have AFT, like I could have farmed those battleships for days if they push. Yeah, well, maybe if I had a bit more support from the carrier or another DD, it could have worked out. But that's it. That's it for Kleber. I'm going to play Marceau next, and you can maybe see the playstyle difference. And yeah, that's it for me. See you for the next Tour de France.